Hey y'all, I'm Cat, and today I will be playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Y'all ready? Let's go. This is my warrior character. His name is Driftwood, and his whole story is that he is the true Ebony Warrior, and he wants to fight the fake one in order to prove himself.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Oh! Letter from Tyra Fireblood. This is Crimson Dirks stuff. Heart of Crimson. Driftwood. My name is Tyra Blood-Fire. Like Salty the wet ear before me, I am an orphan child of Belmora. I know Salty from Merwin. I'm probably mispronouncing her name, but I'm sure I've heard of her in Merwin. I gave her the code book, I believe. I'm pretty sure I gave her the code book. Alright, so last time we persuaded a...
Disgusting.
I don't know what her problem is with me all of a sudden.
Well,
is it possible that she could even still be alive? I don't think so. I am an orphan child of Belmora. Years ago, I took a band of misfits and rogues and turned them into the Crimson Dirks. In our heyday, they called us thieves, bandits, apostates, and killers. And they were right. We were all of those things. But so is the Jarl, who taxes the poor to starvation, the soldiers, who rape and pillage the towns, the Empire, who would erase our gods, and the Godsmen, who would behead the innocent. I agree. That's why I want to be part of the Crimson Dirks. I don't want to kill y'all. I know your story, and if there's going to be a judge for me, I don't want it to be them. Not the Empire, not the East Empire Company, and not the gods. Just you and the Divines. But first, I want you to prove you're a worthy judge. Go to the docks in Windhelm. There, you'll meet a beggar in need of your aid. Some would offer him gold. Others, bread or wine. Offer him the alms you think would best serve him. Once you have proved your measure and your mercy, you must then show your mettle. I will wait for you at the Talos Shrine west of Windhelm. When at last we meet, I ask that you speak only with your blade. For while the tongue lies, the sword is true. Tyra. I'm gonna need a lot of health potions. I am definitely gonna have to fight Tyra.
Need something?
Hi, do you have health potions, buddy?
look.
Let's see. Oh yes, you got a potion of vigorous healing. I'll buy that from you.
May your road lead you to warm sands.
Oh, yours too, buddy. Hey, what you up to?
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort.
Stay
near
away
Driftwood.
from me. I'm trying to talk
I'd
to this
consider
man.
joining up myself.
Yes?
Hi. Instead of alms, I will play for your prosperity. I bought you some wine. You look hungry, have some bread. I don't know which one to pick. Offer him the alms you think would serve him best. The clothes and the boots, perhaps?
Need
Or
something?
the drum. He has a lot of things around him. Perhaps the drum?
Well, hello.
Hi. Okay, I can't give him the drum. I can just
All right,
take
then.
his drum, but I can't give it to him? Okay, that's interesting. What about the clothes and the boots? Can I give them to you?
Yes?
Skyrim
gosh.
isn't very friendly for our audience, so we mostly
You scared me.
Excuse me. You misplaced this, I believe. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Take care. Excuse me. You misplaced this, I believe.
Well, no, those were actually yours. I was returning them to you. There.
There you go.
I don't know what to give him. Maybe I'll say that I'll pray for his prosperity? Because 100 gold pieces, that's still money. Wine is money. Bread is food. She said not to give him those things. Alright, instead of alms, I'll pray for your prosperity. See if this works.
I understand.
I hope I did the right thing. Now I gotta meet her at the shrine west of Windhelm. I see her. Oh no. Oh, who the heck? No. Oh no. A Bowie the occultist.
We're running! Fall back!
You shouldn't have been by me. Get away from me. Jeez, No, I'm not investigating him. He can suck a duck, is what he can do. Tyra, I'm here. I've come to challenge you as you asked.
Never should have.
Tyra, oh, yeah, that's right. We're not supposed to talk, right? Ugh. Oh no, she's tough. Oh no, she's super tough. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh shoot. I'm so glad I bought a lot of health potions. I would be dead. Alright, alright. Ugh. Wait! Do you yield? Because you're still hitting me. Ah!
I'm going to enjoy this.
Ah! Help, help, help! Help, help, help! Where you headed? Ow! Whoa. Ah!
I'll kill you where you stand.
Sorry, Tyra. It was kind of funny how she said she'll kill me where she stands, and she died. An honorable death, though, Tyra. I would have really liked to get to know you. She had the ruby. That ruby and the dirk that she carries are the reason why they're called the Crimson Dirks. The Crimson Dirks. Oh, Book 1 by Gathers the Coin. Tyra Blood-Fire didn't want just any crew. Bandits never built great houses. They had no structure, organization, or legacy. They had few tactics in the field, and little design for the future. Worst of all, they had no loyalty beyond filling their own pockets. A bandit clan was a pack of stray dogs fighting for scraps, willing to bite the hand if it dared to feed them. Growing up in Balmara, Tyra knew that the great houses of Merowyn were built on blood. Yet as an orphan and a Nord against the elves, her concept of family was forged from experience. It wasn't the bandits and cutthroats, but the loners and outcasts she identified with most. So when she picked out a crew that would become the Crimson Dirks, she sought out qualities that best defined herself. What she wanted were survivors. To find them, she would first need connections. For this, she sought the help of the dark elf named Rivra. The Dunmer had no real name to speak of. Some speculated he was a noble, having abandoned his titles and claims for a new one. Others believed he was with the Morak Tong, assassins having little use for their birth name. I'm with the Morak Tong, in Merowyn. Tyra, meanwhile, had first met the brigade as a child, begging in the streets. The dark elf had fixed his blood-red eyes upon this orphan girl, ashen and starved, and deigned to fill her alms bowl. When she looked down, she found neither food nor gold, but a knife. Oh, should I have given him a knife? This isn't a gift, little Netch, the Dunmer cautioned, throat scarred with ash. Your first score belongs to me. That night, young Tyra would make good on that promise, delivering a single ruby into the Ashlander's palm. It glowed crimson, like fire and blood, and from that day, she was known as Tyra Blood-Fire, earning her name just as the Rivra did from his deeds. As years passed, the Dunmer kept a close eye on the Nord, tracking her growth from cut purse to bandit, and while she considered her debt to Rivra paid, whenever their paths crossed, he would continue to demand a cut. 8 years later, and the two had gone their separate ways, not just in distance, but in spirit and mind. Tyra had matured into a tenacious warrior, her physique chiseled and rough, and body forged in the crucible of blood and ash. Rivra, on the other hand, had grown fat and lazy, content to skim off the labor of his subordinates while he spent his days in quiet repose. As Tyra stood before him, he played with a ruby in his palm, occasionally using his forearm to wipe the saliva from his greasy lips. While Tyra recognized the gem almost immediately, the dark elf bared little resemblance to the vicious killer she once knew. Perhaps it was Cyrodiil that had changed him. He had traded his netch leather for fine silks, his dagger for a silver spoon, and his ashland cave for a high-born residence in the heart of Skingrid. His scowl was not one of rage, but irritation, chiefly at his guest for tracking mud onto his freshly waxed floors. Only the eyes, scarlet and piercing, betrayed his former identity. I'm new to Cyrodiil, she said, placing a bag of gold on the table as tilled, and I need a crew. The Dunmer beckoned a servant to hand him the gold, as he could no longer be bothered to reach for it. He examined the bag briefly to judge its weight before shooing the servant and the gold aside. Tyra wondered if she had been better served filling the bag with cakes. I will help you find these men, the Dunmer croaked, finger-rapping the table. But remember, little Netch, your first score belongs to me. Of men who fit her requirements, there were 3. Asriel, the high elf hunter, who grew up in the orphanage. Palandius, who was a farmer guardsman, dismissed for beating a pickpocket to death. Antonius was a hedge mage, who spent more time at the tavern than the guild. There were still others she wanted before the crew could be whole. She wanted a blacksmith to forge arms, and muscle to wield it. She wanted a thief who could stalk their prey in the shadows, and assassins to slit their throats. She wanted scouts to glean information, and sharp minds to decipher their code. And she was willing to travel the breadth of Tamriel to find them. But for this first job, 3 was more than enough. 1 was all she needed. After all, she had already cased the building, having been invited as a guest. She had seen the servant girl deposit the gold in the next room, and the piles of riches scattered throughout the house. And she had watched as their plump horker of an owner lost his edge and taste for the work. For it was the Rivra and his riches that they would come for first. A week later, the 3 sealed their pact in blood. Asriel and Palandius, being trained warriors, made quick work of the gods. Antonius dispelled the servants with his magic, and together the crew filled the wagons with their spoils. But before all was done, Tyra first found the once fearsome Rivra in his bedchambers, helpless to stop what his greed had ordained. In the shadows of a lantern's light, the Nord approached him with arms extended. In one hand was a bag of gold she had given him the week prior. In the other was the knife he had placed in her alms bowl so many years ago. Oh, so maybe I shouldn't have given the beggar a knife. Okay, good. I want you to have this, Rivra said, placing the ruby on the nightstand beside him. Tyra, for her part, never said a word. I was always a Rivra, the dark elf continued. I used to have a proper name. Castival, they called me. Castival? Funny story. There's a Dunmer boy peddling alms outside the Two Sisters Lodge with the same name. Oh. Castival is the author of the Crimson Dirks. Castival is gathers the coin. Upon hearing his words, Tyra's eyes met the Rivra's for the last time, standing over him as he once did her. Perhaps, in that moment, another deal was made. Understood, but left unspoken. Seconds later, she plunged the knife into his heart. I wonder if he told her that because that's his son. Could be. When it was done, Tyra wiped the blood-stained dirk on the bedside and picked up the ruby from the nightstand. In the hours that passed, the crew sacked the place clean, all save the bag of gold, which she left next to her former employer's corpse. The first score, after all, belonged to him. The rest, she took for herself. Wow, that was good. To Driftwood, she wrote a letter to me. First off, I'm sorry about the test. My hope was that it'd give me a window into your mind and bring comfort to mine. You chose to pray for the beggar, putting your faith in the divines. After all, maybe it isn't food or water people need, but hope in something greater than themselves. But the world is not a place where hope alone will save you. My advice to you is to seize your destiny. That's what I want. Don't wait for an idle god. Then you'll be a worthy judge and executioner for your enemies, just as you were for me. Lastly, to the ones I knew in life, don't mourn my death. As one of you once told me, when all you do is look to the past, it's time to close the book on one's future. I do so on my own terms. Goodbye. Oh, Ebony Plate Armor increases health by 50 points. Ebony Plate Gauntlets, one-handed attacks do 30% more damage. Ebony Plate Boots, stamina regenerates 30% faster. An ebony sword, an elven bow, an ebony plate helmet increases heavy armor skill by 20 points. This was perfect quest for me to do. Alright, we need to put all this on, grab the sword. Completed Heart of Crimson. How do I look? Ooh, I look fancy. I look real fancy. So I think that's the end of the Crimson Dirks. We killed their leader, Tyra. We didn't even get to see Edward or Mashera. It would be nice to see them, though. I wonder where they are. I'm glad they lived. Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you liked the video, don't be afraid to subscribe. Bye, y'all.